People are not happy.
You weren't in for that one? I don't think I was.
Alright, welcome back everyone. So, we just watched 2 videos about the Key Bridge collapse in Baltimore. And Destiny, would you like to explain what we just watched?
I was actually curious about how that happened. Basically, how it happened was there was a ship called the Dolly that was, I guess it lost its power, and then well, at first it crashed, I believe, and then it lost its power.
Well, first it lost power, which is what caused it to crash.
Oh,
Actually, it said it lost power, I think, 3 or 4 times.
3 times.
Oh.
3 times.
I just thought that was the most tragic thing, is that they, from what we've learned, it sounds like the crew did everything they were supposed to do to avoid it.
No, it's crazy.
And their efforts just were in vain. As we mentioned, the ship lost power 3 times, which sounds really bizarre. And I think it was just a real case of bad luck at this point.
What's crazy is that bridge is so freaking big, dude. Like, it spans to like that whole freaking length. Like, it's wide, it's huge. So, collateral damage is definitely there, without a doubt. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna have like people that actually like went through that, they probably most likely would die in that. But some people have made it alive, some people survived, some people got injured. But even let's say if they get hit and they're still conscious, they still can't live through all that because the damage of like their arm or whatever it is that prevents them from swimming up and going after that backlash. They're going to die a slow, painful death.
Right. Not a high likelihood of survival in a bridge crash, huh? I guess they said a couple people they were able to rescue.
Yeah.
They can only do so much because that collateral damage was so big.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and not only lives lost, which is the most important thing, but, economically, not having that bridge there,
That's a lot of money.
it's a lot of money being lost,
Yeah, there
which is
is.
also important too, and that's also tragic too.
Yeah, they said the government's going to pay for it, but it's not like it's a free thing.
No,
that
no,
money's
yeah.
got to come from somewhere.
it's not.
And they said that they were going to finish around like 2028, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
That's a
long while.
time, and
It's 2025 right now, and that's 3 years.
Yeah.
not to get too political, but I think we have to acknowledge that with the current political climate, I don't know if the federal government's going to want to pay for a bridge.
Good point.
But he already said he would, so I guess he signed something into effect.
Hopefully it doesn't
Yeah.
get worse. But we'll have to wait and see on that too.
Really crazy situation. I know the video we just watched, they showed all the generators, which are
Yeah.
supposed to kick on in the event of
Yeah, they
the
have
power.
backup generators, yeah.
Yeah, so they were trying to get their anchor down. They were trying to stop.
Everything they were trying to do was in vain.
Yeah, just a straight up mechanical failure of a machine that we are relying on for our.
And I think the other good
Human
point
lives.
is that you can't rely on machines all the time.
Yeah, they're prone to failure. Even
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
a.
And I think that that's something important because I think we human beings are relying too much on technology more and more and more and more and more. And I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you can't just take it for granted. I mean, even things like self-driving cars. I mean, a great concept, but if they're dangerous, because something goes wrong with that technology,
Yeah.
you could be seriously injured or die. So
Or hurt somebody
we
else.
need to be very careful in terms of how much we rely on technology.
Yeah, and I heard self-driving cars can be dangerous as well.
Great concept. I mean, I would, for me, if I would allow self-driving cars, there would be a manual option. So if something did go wrong, the person can manually take over if they need to.
Right. I would not want to be in a vehicle that I had zero control over at all.
Exactly. There's got to be something.
The moment it went out of control, I feel like that some people went off the ship. That were in the ship. Because they knew, like, there's not much we could do right there. he could drop the anchor, but that's like not going to do much.
Well, they tried to, I think, but they lost power in the middle of
Power,
it,
yeah.
and it wasn't able to fully hit the ground because they could have stopped.
But
Hopefully.
they jumped out of the ship. You know why? Because they felt like this was a.
Well, I think everybody stayed.
inevitable event
I
that
think everybody
was-
stayed on there, right? The people that went into the water were construction workers on the bridge. I think everybody in the ship stayed put.
Yeah.
'Cause that's where you're safest, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think anybody was
I don't think they said
abandoning
anything
ship like
about-
that.
Yeah.
Unless we think about something else.
Was
Was it like this year or was it like last year?
it was last
This was a full year ago now.
not March.
March the 26th of last year.
2024, yeah.
And some silver lining, we also watched a video about the new construction, and
Yeah.
we saw the plans
Yeah.
for it. What'd you guys think?
I like the plans. I think the bridge will be not only safer, but allow for a better transportation of ships going through it.
Right, they look like they're raising it up quite a bit
Yeah,
And-
to allow it to be easier. to get
and
through.
increasing the space between the piers.
Exactly. So
Because-
it's safer, more traffic can go through, and it might improve some of the issues that they mentioned at the beginning of the segment about how narrow it is and how it's hard to navigate through it. So
Yeah, the ship that hit it crashed right into one of the pillars, the piers underneath it.
if we're gonna use it in a harbor, it needs to be wider, and I think that's what they were talking about, ways of making it so it's not so narrow.
Right, what else? Did you guys find anything else interesting about the two videos we just watched? I thought it was cool how they showed the route, because the Chesapeake Bay, it's a narrow.
That was cool,
Yeah.
showing how they get the ships through the inner harbor. Because I actually was thinking the same thing. I know how narrow that channel is.
What's the bridge called again?
The Key Bridge, and it was a key bridge to a lot of travel.
Yeah.
And also, I heard on TV a while ago too that there was this one driver who was making her way home, and she just realized that the bridge collapsed, and it just made her so sad because she had a long way to go to get home.
All right, I know people that had hours added to their commute.
Yeah.
That
the
bridge would take
impact.
15 minutes to
And just
get where they're
imagine
going.
trying to show up on your job on time after that happens.
Yeah.
Well, I think they would understand.
Yeah, get some rest.
Oh yeah, they would understand that. But it does impact, and it's a negative impact financially and.
Yeah, terrible thing all around that happened, but Baltimore's a strong city. They're resilient. They're gonna build it back even better than it was before.
So something to look forward to out of the tragedy.
Right.
Something good to
Hope
look forward
so, because
Yeah, it's good to end on a positive note, huh?
to. Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think we're gonna wrap this section up, and we'll be back with you shortly.
yeah, I hope. I was gonna say, I'll pause here, but I was gonna say I hope they build it. But the Key Bridge guys. I don't know if you heard it, but on the news they said that that it would take until like 2028 to get the thing all built back up. Oh wow. Yeah. So I just wanted to point that out too to you and the listeners at home. All right, let's keep going.
Alright, so we just watched a really interesting interview on the Joe Rogan podcast. He had Jeremy Renner on there, who is better known as Hawkeye in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And he told an incredibly fascinating story about being run over by his own snowplow,
Oh.
which is I forget, he said like 8-ton machine, and he broke 30 plus bones in his body, but has somehow made a full recovery. And I thought it was just fascinating to see how,
To see how mentally you'll be able to come back and be so positive about it, even laugh a little bit. I mean,
they left through the whole thing,
Yeah.
through all this trauma, these
Yeah,
traumatic
you
experiences.
know, having a good enough attitude after any traumatic experience is half the battle. It's not just recovering physically, it's mentally. If you can recover mentally, then you're halfway there. So,
Right. He was
It's a
able to.
mind-body experience.
It is, man. You gotta.
So you gotta work on both.
Keep
And
that.
I know in personal experience, I never had anything that traumatic, thank God, but I had surgeries, and they were very traumatic. Now, I've grown out of the fear of surgery, and I had a bit of PTSD earlier in life, but I grew out of it, but it was hard. Going into a hospital, going in to get the anesthesia, I would cry, I wouldn't want it done. Yeah, it was really tough.
That's what he was saying on the podcast, was that the treatment for his injuries was almost as traumatic, if not
Yeah.
more so, than the actual
Yeah.
accident
Yeah.
itself.
And I remember I had one major surgery. I was about 10. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, but that was just the beginning. My recovery physically was very difficult because I had to wear casts on both legs that went from the bottom of my foot to the top of my leg.
Entire leg casts,
yeah.
huh?
Yep. For 2 weeks with a bar separating both legs. They had to be out like this for several weeks. And it was tough. The surgery was only half the battle. I couldn't go to school. I was homeschooled.
Oh wow.
Being 10, not seeing your friends, not going to school. I couldn't go trick-or-treating. That was rough. I can still remember me being so upset when my friends would come to join after trick-or-treating. And of course my mom said no. That was hard.
That must have been horrible, man.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I had my birthday. I had done my
Fear of missing
birthday
out.
in cast. It was hard. It was very hard. But I got through it. And, it was a necessary surgery. It was good because I came up with crutches now. But yeah, I was only like 9 or 10 when this happened. So
Gosh.
it was rough.
And yeah, it's harder when you're younger, I feel like, because you haven't built up that mental resilience just through lived experience yet.
With experience, you're just a kid, so you're brand matured, so you don't handle it, the way an adult would.
Right.
Yeah, it was very traumatic. It's funny now, I love volunteering in hospitals now. I can handle surgery like anybody else. I don't cry or scream or anything like that anymore. But I've grown up, but yeah, it's weird. I love volunteering in hospitals. I think my 10-year-old self would be like, what? Like, you couldn't imagine me working in a hospital volunteering, but I love doing it. I actually volunteered at the hospital at GBMC in Towson for years, for at least 2 or 3 years. And I loved it. And I was with the patients, helping people back in their rooms.
Wow.
I never would have thought I'd be able to do that.
Was it tough at first, being in the hospital
No,
setting after having
no.
experienced?
My first procedure where I finally realized I grew out of it was probably in 2001 when I had to get an endoscopy done because I had a GI bleed. And no, I had anesthesia, I was fine, and it's when I knew I could handle it. So.
Gotcha. So you were able to trust that they were gonna take care of you,
Yeah.
and
I grew up.
you grew up. Man.
I think
I remember.
Yes, yes.
I remember when my sister was a kid. We went to the doctors, and she was really afraid of getting TB shots.
Ooh, that's a big one, huh?
Yeah, and she would scream and cry every time she got one. And I'm like, oh my God, no, you're gonna be okay. Just take some deep breaths. And that's what I did too. Even when I was a kid, I just took some deep breaths.
Deep breaths. Breathing techniques
I
can
couldn't
help
handle
a
either.
Oh
lot.
yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, the staff had to hold me down to get my shots because
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I used to run or hide
Yeah.
or try to crawl
Yeah,
away.
There was no way you were going to stick me.
Eventually,
They won.
they always do.
They always do. No matter how strong you are, they're always stronger than you, and yeah. So, but I grew out of that too. Yeah.
And do you feel, the interview we watched, he was saying that he felt back to 100% and then some because of what he went through. He felt like mentally, spiritually, just stronger of a person for having gone through all that. Did you ever feel like that when you, like, on the
I
other end of
did,
the...
on the other end, but like I said, the surgery was necessary to help treat my cerebral palsy. And there was a benefit to it. Before using these crutches, I used to use a walker. It's not the kind that you see, people use it's not a push walker, it's a pull walker. You pull it behind you as you walk.
Oh, really?
But that was bulky. I couldn't get into narrow spaces. So being able to go from a walker to just use his crutches allowed me to do a lot more. Maybe more mobile. But it definitely worked the surgery. But
So you came out better than 100% too, huh?
yeah, it was
Better than when you came in.
It was worth it. But at 10, like I didn't have the capacity to understand why this was happening.
Right.
At 10, I was like, this is a nightmare. Like,
Yeah,
why
no
am I going
10-year-old
through
should
this?
have to go through anything
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
It's amazing to hear that you came out stronger.
Yeah.
Probably more mentally resilient, like you said. Now you're used to hate hospitals, and now you can volunteer
I
in
love
them
working on them. Yeah, it's
without
really
batting an eyelash.
in a way. But it was a journey, and I just grew out of it, and I was a kid. And I think, that's understandable. Kids don't understand why things are happening to them.
Yeah, they're still figuring out the world, figuring out how to make
Exactly.
sense of anything,
To me,
everything.
I thought they were just torturing me. I had no idea the benefits of the surgery.
It feels
And
like
how could
that.
I was too young. I couldn't.
Yeah, people can explain it to you, but until you've lived it, you,
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a lot to process. But I made it through, and I'm glad I did it, and my life's better because I did it. So.
that's incredible, man. That's really inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Josh.
Sure. Anytime.
Does anyone else have an example or a story? Could be you, could be somebody you know, similar to what Josh was saying, that overcame something. Could be either medical, mental struggle,
Something traumatic.
something traumatic that they came out better with on the other side.
Well, I know this was kind of a thing that happened, I think, a few years ago, but I never knew that, because my mom had she needed a hip replacement,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know that she actually needed a surgery for it, and so I was like, oh no, I was like, how come she needed it? And it was basically to replace her hip, because her hip was broken or something. And she's about 58, so.
Oh wow, that's a
59
very
now.
serious thing.
Yeah.
But how did she deal with it? Was she able to get through everything and come out better on the other side?
Yeah.
Good. That's awesome. I was also going to ask if anyone has any maybe tips, tricks, hints for dealing with a traumatic situation. I mean, it could be anything. Destiny, you mentioned breathing techniques.
Yeah, I don't
That
really
can
know. Like, I've gotten up or out of it. I think at 10, this is from my personal experience for me, there's nothing. I mean, I tried before the surgery. I tried therapy with a therapist. But there was just no way you were gonna
Yeah.
at that age.
Do you think talking about it helped much at all?
Maybe, no, maybe, but not much because I still screamed and cried like a baby until they put me out.
Yeah.
Um,
Gosh, but after the fact,
yeah.
maybe talking about it would help.
Yeah, maybe. I just remember being angry at my parents. Why are they doing this to me?
I feel like it's something being done to you
Right.
instead of
Not
something for you.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Gotcha.
That's just a kid, you don't have any power. Your parents, you do what your parents tell you, and
Yeah, listen to your doctor,
That's the
listen
way
to
it is,
authority figures.
I remember begging the surgeon, I just want to go home. He's like, Doctor, you need this surgery, we got to do it. We talked about this, so.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I was young, I was crying in school because of an assignment that I really couldn't focus too much on.
Mm-hmm.
And so my teachers were like, it would be better talking about it than crying about it. And so
How does that make you feel, Destiny, when your teacher telling you that?
I was like, because I felt like I just couldn't handle myself, because all I really felt like I could only do was cry, because I didn't really have the words to say how what was going on.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was asking you. Like, I mean, like, that's got to be very frustrating when the only way you can communicate is through crying and someone's putting you down for that.
Right.
It
Right.
doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah, it's hard to tell someone just to stop crying.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's not really fair.
Crying's okay. Hey, everybody
Especially
does
if
it.
you're a kid.
And that's what my teacher at MSB said, because I was crying during industrial arts, and she like, it's okay to cry. And
There
so,
you go. See?
yeah, she took me to the bathroom, and that's what I did.
Okay. So she was more supportive.
And compassion. And that's kind of the other thing, too. Like, you gotta be compassionate and understand when someone cries.
Right. You gotta put yourself in their
Mhm.
position a little bit. Gotcha. Well, I don't know that I've experienced any trauma as much as what you were talking about, Josh. But I've dealt with injuries.
Yeah.
I've had rolled ankles that last a year. I'm dealing with a knee injury right now, and it's tough. You know, you gotta. I have an injured knee, so I'm working every other muscle around it to try to strengthen it.
Well, good.
And-
You sound determined.
I am, and I feel like I'm putting myself through physical therapy. I haven't been to a doctor yet. I probably should, but yeah. So I guess when dealing with trauma, the best thing to do is just keep focused on what's on the other side.
What's on the other, exactly, what's on the other side.
Remind yourself why you're doing it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's a really good motivating factor, too. It's like, if you set a goal for yourself, it does motivate you to keep at it. And that's with anything,
Right.
traumatic or not. Like,
Even writing down your goals,
Mhm.
talking about them with people, making them real, making them manifest.
every time I go to therapy, my favorite part of going to physical therapy is talking about my goals.
That's awesome.
It excites me, it motivates me to work hard.
But you probably begin by doing that, I would imagine.
Yes, yes.
Right. Gotcha. Well, maybe I'll write down my recovery goals too.
That might help. And then you can keep track of them, and then when you accomplish them, you can check them off.
Oh, and that'll feel good. Yep.
Exactly.
Well, cool.
All about your mentality.
All about that positive mental attitude, right?
Yeah, it goes a long way.
Awesome, guys. Well, great talk. I think we're going to wrap this segment up.
Awesome.
Did anyone else have any comments about dealing with trauma, dealing with life?
When you're trying, don't be afraid to talk about it. It's okay if you don't. It's fine. But in my personal experience, sharing and talking about it with other people, at least people you trust, it does help you kind of get through it. Because you don't want to deal with the trauma. In my opinion, depending on the trauma, it's a lot easier having someone to help you get through it than dealing with it all on your own.
Wise words. Yeah,
That's my tip.
wise words, Josh. Well, thanks everybody. We're going to wrap this one up, and we'll be right back with you.
All right.
All right. Let's everybody welcome Kiera to the podcast.
Oh,
Yay.
Kiera. Kiera.
Yep, Kiera's my personal support coach, who I really love so much as well.
Is this one for her?
Yeah.
Some going out to her?
Yeah, all right. Here we go.
You're right. You're right.
Hey. That's my baby, nothing for me. That's my baby, that's my favorite. Loving heartshake every day. Yeah, that's my favorite. Loving heartshake, that's my favorite. I love so much. That's my favorite. Loving heartshake every day. Yeah. I'm in love with my favorite thing that I love so much. In love with you in every way. You make it all about my heart, yes. And I always think of you so much. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's my favorite. but I love so much every day. Oh, every day. That's my favorite loving heart, shaking everywhere. Oh yeah, something hard, that's my thing, every day. That's my thing. Something gorgeous that I love so much and everywhere. Oh, it's on the heart everywhere. You're my favorite day. Thank you all so much.
That was wonderful.
Cool. That was a little faster tempo than usual.
Yeah.
More energetic. I like it.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. See. I guess we can do.
Yeah, time for one more, probably.
Yeah. Alright, let's make this a good one.
You're right.
Always wanna be your favorite thing every day. You know I'm always in love with you in every way. Still thinking of loving you so much in every way. Always thinking of my favorite thing. But always in love with you so much. Yeah, always in love with you every day. Always in love with you so much. 'Cause you're my favorite. You're my favorite heart shape all the time. Oh yeah, you're my favorite heart shape all the time. I'm always in love with all my favorite things. Always in love with how much you're my everything. No, I'm always in love so much. Oh, my favorite heart shape is. I'm always in love so much. You're my everything. Always in love with my favorite. Always in love today and every day. You are my favorite heart shape. You always my favorite loving kind of thing. Yeah. You were always my favorite loving.
Ah, that was wonderful. Thanks. Right.
This is the Thursday Thoughts crew signing out. We'll see you next Thursday.
Alright guys, that does it for today. Alright. What'd you guys think? was good? Wonderful. That was wonderful. Thanks. Alrighty, so, alright, so now that we've watched our video of the day, let me see what time it is. Let's see.
Speed John, Monday, June 9:05 p.m.
It is 9:05 right now. Alright. Okay. Okay. It's 9:05. You guys can go to one different store, or one store today. Pick one store. So this is for our next thing. So pick one store, and then once you guys are finished at that store, are you guys gonna be okay if I do the outro without you guys? Because I think we're probably gonna be split apart, and I don't know if. Yeah, that's okay. All right. Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and head on over to a store. I'm going to head on into Heart Shapes. And, yeah, that's going to do it for today. Thank you all so very, very much. Alrighty. Well, that's it here in the studio. I will see you guys next time. Shopping for lots of wonderful heart shaping. Heart shapes today. Shopping for lots of wonderful heart shaping. Every day and everywhere. Alright guys, it is me, Destiny Robertson. I'm about to head on inside of Heart Shapes. Let's go see what great things they have today.
Created drama. I know that he at times has been a distraction. Trust me, I get it. I've been very critical of AJ Brown every time. Any and every time he's been a distraction. All the
Shopping
distractions he
today?
caused us.
Yes, I am.
1,000 yards.
Alrighty.
7 touchdowns.
They're in
1,000
Heart
yards,
Shapes.
7 touchdowns. For as big of a distraction as he was.
Alright.
And you just sent him packing. You get a first-round pick in 2 years from now?
Hi Sable, hi Miss H, welcome to Heart
2 years
Shapes.
from now.
Thank you so
It'd be one
much.
thing if it was next year. You gotta wait 2 years before you can even cash in on that pick. I could be wrong. Maybe it was AJ Brown that was the root of the problems. I'm not in that Eagles locker room. I never was. But I look at a great wide receiver that is still a top 10 receiver in football, that's still not even 30 years old. And I put more of the blame on the head coach, Nick Sirianni, and I put most of the blame on the offensive coordinators from last year and Devin Patullo as to the reasons why that
Is
Eagles
this what we're doing
offense
today?
stunk.
Yes. Okay.
And he didn't
We're
get
at
a player
Heart
back.
Shapes.
Now he's got a player back to take. And now the Eagles, look, they've made some veteran signings this offseason. Tavion Wicks from the Green Bay Packers.
Oh yeah.
330 yards and 2 touchdowns last year. In 3 years combined in the NFL. Tavion
Oh
Wicks
man.
has 108 catches.
Hi, welcome to Heart Shapes.
108 catches. And he's got just over 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns. AJ Brown last year had 78 catches for 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. AJ Brown in one season in Philadelphia in 2022 had 88 catches for 1,500
Let's see what we
yards and
have.
11
Let's go look in
touchdowns.
the
AJ
craft
Brown in one in his
section.
best year in Philadelphia basically put up what Tavion Wicks did in 3 years. They bring in Hollywood Brown. Okay, Hollywood Brown is
Alright,
28.
Destiny,
What has
we'll
he
be
done?
walking around if you need anything.
couple of seasons.
Alrighty. Alright.
I mean, he had every opportunity to become a focal point
Does
of the
Sable
Chiefs'
have a
offense
shopping
last year
cart?
with Kelsey
Yeah,
took a
she
step
does.
back.
Okay, good.
And you had the suspension to Rashee Rice. Hollywood Brown last year put up 587 yards at 5
Shopping, we're gonna go shopping.
And then they drafted
today.
Mekhi Lemon. Okay. Were they drafting Mekhi Lemon if they didn't have A.J. Brown? Probably not. Can Mekhi Lemon become a dominant receiver in football? He could. You knew what you had with A.J. Brown, the good and the bad.
It actually
So,
seems
I
like a
think the
long
Eagles are gonna
episode,
regret
but
it.
it's not as long as episode 2 was.
But
Yeah.
I do understand, again, I completely, fully understand the issues that A.J. Brown can bring to a locker room, the distractions that he can bring to an offense, where if you've got, again, another first-time play caller in Sean Mannion, and I think that was probably part of the reason why the Eagles had to settle with Sean Mannion. They didn't get Mike McDonald. They didn't get Mike McDaniel. He went to the Chargers. They didn't get seemingly any of the other offensive coordinators they wanted. Ryan Dable went to Tennessee to work with Cam Ward. And part of that reason might have been because of A.J. Brown. Again, I get it. I just think the Eagles, you have a guy that you've had proven success with. You have a guy that you've had proven success with. You gotta find a way to make it work. You gotta find a way to make it work.
Right.
And for the Patriots, I don't know if it's as simple as, okay, A.J. Brown is going to go to the Patriots and he's never going to become a headache again. He's never going to demand a trade. He's never going to go on social media and start talking about how he doesn't get the ball. And just because he's got his buddy Mike Vrabel. Because when he was with Tennessee and Mike Vrabel, there was never any problem. I don't think it's as simple as that. Because what does A.J. Brown care about? Having the football thrown his way. That's about it. And if you think I'm putting words in his mouth, he literally put on Instagram 2 days after they won the Super Bowl 2 years ago and said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, yeah, we won the Super Bowl, but that feeling's kind of already gone away because I didn't dominate.
Speech on. Show notif at 9:14 p.m.
Last year, Stephon Diggs had less targets.
9:14 is our time right now.
And I'd probably say A.J. Brown, not probably, A.J. Brown is a better receiver than Stephon Diggs at this point in their careers. But Stephon Diggs had 20 less targets than A.J. Brown had, and A.J. Brown caused a lot of distractions. So he gets
Ooh, they have some cheaper
or less
crayons.
targets in New England this year than he did last year in Philly. Just because Mike Vrabel is his coach, you think that there's not going to be any problem. Patriots have a good run game, and they got to commit to it. Patriots got a tight end that they love in Hunter Henry. Patriots have other receivers in Kayshon Boutte and Matt Collins and Pop Douglas, and they signed Romeo Doubs. That they're going to throw the ball to. They got a young, impressionable quarterback that doesn't need to have his number one wide receiver chirping at him or causing problems in the locker room every time he doesn't get 10-plus targets in a game. But everything could work out.
All right.
Maybe the Eagles' offense is better without A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown doesn't cause any distractions in New England. And gets 1,000 yards, touchdowns, and they go back to the AFC Championship.
Then let's
Those are the best-case scenarios for this situation. This is a trade that could help both teams out. It could hurt both teams. It's a unique trade. And I think it is probably likely that it hurts both teams. But as great as A.J. Brown is on paper, and the numbers he's put up,
doing all right, Sable. Yes.
England was about as together of a team as you could have last year.
How long are we gonna be here for, Miss H? Probably
You're
for
risking
the next hour.
A lot of that great
I think
chemistry.
Destiny said our
Just
time
for the
was
sake of a player that's
9:14.
got a ton
We
of
still
talent,
got
yes.
like we still got lots of time.
And it might sound like I'm speaking out both sides of my mouth here, but
Got time.
for Philly, you already had that guy in-house. You proved it. that in years past, A.J. Brown creating distractions last year wasn't new. Wasn't new. It wasn't like the first time it happened. Happened in the year that they collapsed.
Are you doing alright, Dustin?
Went to a Super
Yep,
Bowl.
I'm just looking at some craft stuff.
The following year, he got up to a 10-1 start and collapsed, and there was talk about, disgruntledness. Might be a Curb Your Enthusiasm. Larry David, you disgruntled? He was disgruntled. There was distractions.
Yeah.
And then 2024, they rebound and they win a Super Bowl. 2025, where A.J. Brown, and what did he do? There was reports that there was a parking lot meeting between Jalen Hurts and Saquon and A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown did go on that Twitch stream, and he's basically talking and creating the headlines and creating distractions. I got news for you. A.J. Brown wasn't the only reason why the Eagles' offense stunk last year. So you've already had a guy that you know can be a distraction, but then he wants the ball in his hand. He wants to dominate. That's not a bad thing to have. Now, could you say A.J. Brown's effort was pathetic at times last year? Could he stop on routes? I mean, it felt like there were maybe 2 or 3 instances of that because he was under a microscope. Everybody watched his every route, every one of his run blocks. I think if you take a look at 75% of the receivers in the NFL, and even some of the great ones, you'll find a couple of plays where they take a play off. It never makes sense to me. You're replacing A.J. Brown with an unproven receiver that you have to spend a first-round pick on. And then you get a first-round pick for him in return 2 years from now from the Patriots team that is playoff contenders. I think it can absolutely hurt both teams more than it can help both of them. Whereas the Browns-Rams trade, Myles Garrett, that, almost in all certainty for me, it helps both teams. It's a very interesting, blockbuster day in the NFL. We'll take your phone calls on either of those trades, 310-840-4910. And when we return, Noah Eagle is wrapping up. He's a very busy man. He's a very wanted man. He was doing a couple of other hits tonight. So we're going to have Noah Eagle join us next. Play-by-play voice for NBC Sports and Peacock. We're going to talk NBA Finals. We'll talk Knicks, and we'll talk the Spurs' historic Game 7 win over the Thunder on Saturday. We'll do that when we return. I'm Pat Ford.
Speech on. Settings. 3 new items. YouTube. 1 new item. Speech off.
Download the Westwood One Sports app and listen to us wherever you are. Westwood One Sports.
The following is sponsored by Bid My Listing.
Looking for a great real estate agent? Someone who can help you sell your home fast and for top dollar? Go to Ready.com. REDY.com. Because on Ready, agents will pay you just for the opportunity to sell your home. Yeah, on Ready, agents will pay you for your listing. Thousands of dollars up front just for a chance to sell your home. And it's easy. Just go to Ready.com, enter your address, and when you want to sell. In just 48 hours, the best local agents are competing on Ready to be your agent with cash offers up front just to win your business. Hey, your listing is valuable. Don't give it away. Make those agents earn it. Get paid to pick your real estate agent. Go to Ready.com or call 888-270-REDY. 888-270-READY.
At Fisher Investments, seniors seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Popeye's Big Box is back, y'all. News for bold Louisiana flavor. You have some big questions to answer. Will it be 2 pieces of marinated crunchy signature chicken? Or 3 juicy tenders? And which 2 delicious sides will you pair with that biscuit you love? At just $6, Big Box is a big deal. But big deals don't last forever. So if you want to go big, you better go now. At participating U.S. restaurants, price may vary, tax extra.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-798-4399. 800-798-4399. 800-798-4399. Optima Tax Relief. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Selling your home is a big decision. City Steel makes it simple with the Your Home Sold Guarantee. Your home sold or he'll buy it. That's peace of mind you can count on. Call Vinny today. 410-793-1801. 410-793-1801.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the stomach. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections, or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more, or visit TremfyaRadio.com.
If you're thinking about it,
Every day.
we're talking about it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Baltimore Sports Radio, 105.7 The Fan. 105.7 The Fan. 105.7 The Fan. The Fan. When you're away from your car, listen on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps. Search 105.7 The Fan.
Live scores, sharp options, no waiting till tomorrow. BetMGM tonight is back.
Oh, man.
Welcome on back, BetMGM Tonight, Western One Sports. I'm Pat Will. The phone number to join the show, 310-840-3910. Let's get the great Noah Eagle in here now, the play-by-play voice for NBC Sports and Peacock. Won't be long until he's doing college football Saturdays, NFL on Sundays, but he's enjoying some summertime right now. Noah, it's good to have you back, man. How's everything been?
Everything is great. Always even better when you get an intro of the acoustic version of How You Remind Me, or I guess that would be the non-lyrical version, just the instrumental. Either way, shout out to Grant Hill, who was in the Rockstar Nickelback music video.
Wait, was he? Grant Hill was in the music
That's right. That's right. Well, if you actually look back, that music video was basically a bunch of celebrities and recognizable faces all singing small portions of it, and he was one of them.
Wow. You know, and seeing Nickelback gets a ton of slack, and they had ideas like that, along with some songs that when you hear them, you can't help but sing. That is a hell of a trivia, though.
Oh man.
I know, I agree, because Grant said it to us during the playoffs. We were talking about Nickelback. It was me, Robbie Hummel, Grant, Ashley Shamedy, and for whatever reason, Nickelback was in conversation. He was like, oh yeah, I was in one of those music videos. I go, what song? He goes, you know the one? I'm like, no. You have to tell me the name of the song. He goes, I don't know the name of the song. So then we looked it up, and he was in the Rockstar video.
There you go. How about that? I never would have guessed. Never would have guessed. Between that and getting pulled into various bars by rap, I'm sure he's got probably a bunch of stories you could tell. But no, let's go with Saturday night. Historic Game 7 between the Spurs and the Thunder. Wemby and San Antonio. As Mike Tirico laid it out, they go into the Lions den and they dethrone the champs on their own floor. A game they led for the majority of. And in the fourth quarter, I mean, just knowing the Onions hit a big three after big three on the road. What was your biggest takeaway from Game 7 on Saturday?
Ooh, they have something else.
Just the incredible composure of that team that you just mentioned. For most of them, most of their rotation, it's their first playoff run.
My
And I know that that's been talked about a ton, so it's not like I'm breaking any ground. But Victor Wembanyama at 22, Castle at 21.
Wait a minute, I didn't even know
Harper
this
at
book
20,
had many different
all in years
volumes.
1, 2, or 3, all in their
Or would
first
have
playoff
many
run.
different volumes.
Devin Vassell, first playoff experience. Julian Champagne, first playoff experience.
That's something I could think
It's a
about
starting
purchasing.
five
You know what? Let me go ahead and purchase
basically
it right now so I can
outside
put
of
it in
De'Aaron
our
Fox, who before
studio.
this
I'll ask my sage if
had
he
only
can drop it
one
off
series
in our
of playoff
studio.
experience. You have Harper on
Make
the
a
bench.
quick
Carter
purchase
Bryant
real quick,
had never played in the
guys.
playoffs before this, and not even necessarily deep in the tournament in his 1 year at Arizona. And then your other bench pieces, Fournette is a champ, Harrison Barnes is a champ, so they've been there before, and those are your veterans that can kind of guide you. But Keldon Johnson,
Hey, Miss Linda.
first real
Hey,
playoff
Snake.
experience.
Hello.
It's remarkable to me, the
I came
composure
here
that
to
they showed
purchase
through
this
this series.
Big
Because
Book
not
of Hearts
only
Volume 2.
was it a Game 7 on the road, but over the
Okay,
course
yep,
of the
we
entire
got a
series,
second
win
volume
Game 1
of the Big
in
Book of
remarkable
Hearts.
fashion. After giving up a big
Alright,
lead,
so
you go to
are you
double
paying with
overtime
cash
because
or
Wemby
card
gets
today?
one of the more
Card.
absurd shots we've
Alrighty.
ever seen at that
Go ahead and
stage.
hand it to me
And
whenever
you win
you're
in
ready.
double OT. You almost
Alright.
win Game 2, and a lot of teams with that lack of experience against the defending
Yep,
champion
here's the
lose
card.
Game 2 the way they
Thank
did.
you so very
and
much.
maybe start to crumble, which in Game 3 they did, but then you come back and dominate Game 4, you get dominated in Game 5, then you dominate Game 6, and then you play this well
Bye,
in Game
thanks for
7.
my heart shape.
To me,
Have a
that
great
is really
day.
the biggest thing that I think nobody expected from them this early.
Yeah, I agree, and I had a question teed up a little bit later in the interview. Like, were you stunned by how quickly this team grew up? A bunch of kids barely old enough to
All right,
drink.
looks like
Dylan
you're good
Harper's
to
still
go
not
now.
old enough to drink legally.
All right, thank
at
you
least,
so very
you know,
much.
Who dethroned
No
the
problem. Would you
defending
like my
champ.
seat
So
as well?
how
No, thanks.
stunning
Alrighty.
was that? Because that was part of the reason why I took the
Thank you
Thunder
so much.
to go
No
back to
problem.
the
Thanks for
finals.
shopping.
And I think we've seen that play out.
Hey, Miss
Several years in the past.
What's up,
Just look back at 2 years
Hey,
at
Miss
OKC,
H,
where they were the one
when
seed,
I'm
and they got
finished,
beat by Luka and the Mavs, 'cause seemingly
I guess when
they
I
didn't
leave,
have that
or
playoff
yeah, when I
experience,
leave,
the
do you
ebbs and
mind
flows
holding
of
on
how
to
a
this and
seven-game
dropping this
series
off at the
goes.
studio
So,
for me,
but,
please, before I
it's
while I
scary to think
get
of where
ready
the
to go to
Spurs
my
could be
room
in
because I
another
gotta.
2-3 years
Yeah, I don't
when
mind.
they have
Okay,
another
thanks.
2-3 years of playoff runs
You
on
can just put it in my cart. I don't mind.
Historically,
Okay,
you're
thank you so
correct
much.
that pretty much every champion
Wait, is that another? I
felt
thought you
like
already
had
have
to
the
go
book of.
through
Oh, it's
something
a
before
second
they
volume.
became champions.
Yep, it's the second
So,
volume. It's
last
volume
year
2
with
of
the
the
Thunder,
book
the
of
year
hearts.
before,
Oh
fell
wow.
short, even the year before that, the way that they came up
Wonderful.
short.
All right.
It was
Well,
experience
I will drop it
that
off at the studio
built
for you.
to eventually
Thank you
get to
so
the
much.
mountaintop. And even them, the experiences they had through the journey of the 7-game series
How you
against
doing,
Denver,
Taylor? You
and of
doing
course,
alright?
7 games in the finals.
Yeah, I'm fine.
The year before that, the Boston Celtics got to the finals 2 years prior and lost. Had been close, knocking on the door year after year after year, finally breaking through and winning the test. The year before that, Denver, same deal, went through it, had the crazy 2-3-1 comebacks in the bubble. The year before that, they had the 7-game series
Yep,
loss
Thursday thoughts.
to Portland, where
Thursday
they could have
thoughts
potentially
shopping.
gone and
Yep,
tried to give the
Thursday
Warriors their best shot. The years leading up when Jamal Murray was hurt, etc. They had been through all that. Obviously, the Warriors, we know what they have been through to get back to that mountaintop, and we go on the Milwaukee Bucks. And you just go year after year and say, man, these teams really have to go through it before they got to that point. And that's why I think they're so ahead of schedule. But answer the question, am I surprised? No, because I think Wemby is so different mentally from just about any other 22-year-old that you can find, especially one that has as much talent and natural ability as this guy does. But his mental approach, not just to the game, but to everyday life, sets the tone for the rest of the team. And I think that's where a lot of the confidence and belief comes in. And because of that, there's no real second guessing, there's no blinking, it's just, hey, attack mode, let's let it rip.
Starting an Eagle here on BetMGM tonight, Western One Sports. I'm Pat Boyle. Noah, the play-by-play voice for NBC Sports and Peacock. You heard him many big games throughout this NBA playoff run, and you're going to hear him every Saturday night, 10 Saturday night on NBC Sports, NFL Sundays. Noah, J-Dub said after the game, they'd probably win the series if he was healthy. You know, A.J. Mitchell, also a crucial player off the bench for them all year, and a guy that also started 16 games this season and a few in the playoffs. He missed the last, 3-4 games of this series. So, do you agree with J-Dub? Do you think the Thunder win the series if Jalen Williams played those last couple of games?
Yeah, look, again, are we saying Jalen Williams fully healthy? Because that's so different than the Jalen Williams that we saw for the majority of the year. You're just assuming that this guy, who couldn't stay healthy in the regular season, was staying healthy in the postseason. That's what we ended up seeing, where he tried to rush himself back. Game 6, he looked like a shell of the player that we are accustomed to seeing.
All right, let me check the time.
Real
quick, see what time it is.
You can't play without both of them. That was when they started
Oh,
losing
great!
games in the middle of the
9:34.
season,
We're gonna end at
partly when Shea was out, they became a mortal team. I
We
think
should probably
that
end at
this
9.
season, I might be getting this slightly wrong, but I'm pretty sure this
9:40.
season the Thunder were
9:40 something.
56 and do the
Alright,
math,
it'll be 20 minutes.
56 and 12 maybe when Shea Gilgeous-Alexander played. That gets you to what, 68 games or so? I think they were
86 without him.
Exactly. They're 86 without him, and they're 56 and 12 or so with. That's very clear to me in terms of value. Talk about most valuable player. That's insane value. You go from world beaters to mortal with one guy. And by the way, of the few losses that they did have with him playing, most were to San Antonio. And so it was just that type of matchup. But I think that they would have been fine if they had one of the two guys healthy, because those are two creators. What they eventually started lacking down the stretch was creators outside of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And in Game 7 in particular, they ran out of creators. Jared McCain had a couple of moments. Certainly in the series, he was awesome. He had a few moments early in Game 7 where it looked like he might have one of those days, but he wasn't enough of a creator on his own for them to overcompensate the other two guys. Chet Holmgren, 2 field goal attempts in Game 7. What he did for the majority of the series was not as a creator. It was as a reactor more than anything. Isaiah Hartenstein had a great series in the majority of his time out there, but he's not a guy you're going to give the ball and say, go get us a bucket. Versus A.J. Mitchell, what he did early in the playoffs was that. Jalen Williams, what he did last year in the finals run was that. And so when you're missing both those guys, I think that's where you probably lose out. And so if you have one of the two, they easily could have won. Absolutely, but it's all irrelevant. Those are all hits.
Yeah. No, it didn't take it. You mentioned Chet Holmgren. It didn't take a basketball savant to see how poorly he played in Game 7 on Saturday and for the majority of that series. What gets lost in the social media polar spectrum conversations with everybody piling on Chet, and don't get me wrong, I've never seen anybody more afraid of the moment and maybe more afraid of an opponent that he looked on in Game 7. But he's a great young player that helped them win a title last year. He's literally the runner-up to Wemby as Defensive Player of the Year. He's third-team All-NBA, first-team All-Defense, and he's 23 years old. So that being said, you think Sam Presti, OKC GM, should pull the trigger this offseason and trade Chet for Giannis? With the thinking being, we're probably going to run into San Antonio a handful of more times, and if that's a matchup that we just get completely owned in, I don't know if we like our chances. Or, just talked about the injuries to J-Dub and A.J. Mitchell, did OKC run it back, considering if they were fully healthy, they're probably playing against my Knicks on Sunday?
I would tell you that more the latter. The Giannis thing doesn't make a ton of sense to me, because you're going after a guy that needs the ball in his hands, and you have an MVP in the last 2 years that needs the ball in his hands in crunch time. I just don't love that as a fit. I know defensively it could be great. But you mentioned it. Chet was the runner-up and Defensive Player of the Year. He's been an outstanding player in his young career. He won the title with them and set a record for blocks in a Game 7 of the Finals last year. That was last year. I think that because of the stakes of the playoffs, there's just a tendency to overreact. Sam Presti is too smart for that. I think he more than likely brings back the sport, and he believes in the sport. Now, whether or not he decides that Jalen Williams is part of that sport, I think that's more of the decision, because he probably feels like, well, A.J. Mitchell proved that he could be that guy, and Jared McLean at times proved that he could be that guy. As long as we stay healthy, he could use some of that space to go and get a different piece. Maybe that's how you go about it. But
Alright, let me check
I don't think getting rid of Chet makes a ton of sense for them. Now,
Okay, we can go ahead and start getting ready to end our episode.
you bring back your core, but the extensions
Alright, Miss Linda, I'm gonna step out real quick. I'm actually gonna go ahead and leave.
With the CBA rules and how the aprons work,
Sable, Miss Sage, I'm gonna go ahead and leave. I'm gonna go ahead and end our episode today. Alright, see you guys. See ya.
How do you handle the A.J. Mitchell situation knowing that?
Alright guys, well, that's going to be it for our episode today. Don't forget, do not forget tomorrow before CP, I might actually cancel it, but tomorrow, we will have Thursday Thoughts, and we're going to do News to Share and Heart-Shaped Songs. Alright, so, that is our plan for tomorrow's episode of Thursday Thoughts. Alright guys, thank you all so very much. And, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end our episode for today. Alrighty.
Speech on, listen, settings, reconnect, cancel, pause, stop, button.
Alright guys, thank you all so very much once again. Hope you guys had a wonderful time with me today here on Thursday Thoughts and my Valentine Audio friends. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Until then. Got me thinking of something.